What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We're going to be talking once more about Weapon X and testing them out in war. Doing a lot of war practice stuff lately. But in my last video, I talked about how Silver Samurai could really mess with those huge punch-ups from Shadowlands because of his ultimate that could one-shot and everything. And in that comment section, someone said that they were having a good time with trying Emma on offense with Silver Samurai, to which I asked, was this like just Weapon X with Emma? Not really sure what he was going for, and he never responded back. So I had to take it upon myself to do some testing. I took the trio of Silver Samurai, Wolverine, and Sabretooth, put Emma in that 4th spot, and then in the 5th slot, I did a varied mix of Namor, Mr. Sinister, and Strife. And I have to say, this team is very, very good on offense. If you guys are already looking at the timestamps down below, you're going to see a team there that's going to have your interest peaked right away. I'm going to tell you right now that Heroes for Hire video that we're going to show here in a minute, not that good. It's like a 300k punch down. I just want to show you guys, like, you're starting to see a little bit of the proof of concept of what this team's going to do against Heroes for Hire. But until you get Omega Red, I don't think it's going to be a viable counter. But we're going to break that down in the footage as well. If you guys do enjoy this video and find it helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. There's be plenty of Marvel Strike Force content to be found here. But without further ado, big thank you to Hamzy and Tubby for doing some testing and putting some teams on defense for me so that I could do some testing and get this footage. Let's dive right into this footage of the Heroes for Hire team. And we're gonna start off right away. Just a preface. 300k punch down. So, like I said, don't expect a lot. If you try to do closer, 100 to 200k punch downs, you're gonna get destroyed by Heroes for Hire. This team is just, Heroes for Hire is just too good. I also have a problem where my Wolverine is the weakest member on my team, so Colleen just basically picks off Samurai, and I'm kind of screwed. So, yeah, it's not good. I did have to cheat a little bit as well. I had to make sure my Silver Samurai was the highest health character on my Emma, which is going to take him up to 5 stars. But we're already starting to see some of what's going on with this team and how it's going to destroy Heroes for Hire once you get the full team. And one of the big things is that you're able to flip defense up into defense down with Sabretooth, but also Sabretooth's basic and special can both apply offense down, which is very helpful. I was able to get offense down on Shang-Chi at the start, so his ultimate didn't really do that much damage, which was nice. You can see my Wolverine is hanging on by a thread. That's why I was saying, like, closer punch downs are not going to work because that Wolverine's going to die right away, and it's just not ideal. No one really stuck to the slow, but now we're going to clone Luke Cage. We're going to get him on our team. That defense up from his ultimate is going to be very helpful. The taunts and the counters on Silver Samurai are also very, very helpful, but that barrier and that defense up and the regeneration on Wolverine is exactly what you need. So, Samurai there with his barrier kind of helping keep things buffed up. But yeah, I mean, there's not a lot to say here. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Work your way through Luke Cage until you get a chance at Shang-Chi, and then just go ham. But it's not clean. It's not fun. It was a very low success rate, even of this kind of team. So yeah, there's something to see here where maybe we're gonna have something here in the future. But here's my favorite part. We're gonna get that blind. We're gonna dispel the taunt on Luke. But then here in a second, we're gonna go for that. We're gonna go for that ultimate on Shang-Chi, and that's where things are gonna get fun because we're gonna use that ultimate, and it's gonna wipe out Shang-Chi. He had all those stacks of charge on him. But because the ultimate from Samurai kills him, enemies defeated by that ultimate from Samurai cannot be revived. So there's one part there already. You now blocked that, just deleted that Shang-Chi on the enemy team. But yeah, I mean, there's not much else to say. For the most part, my team kept alive. Like I said, Wolverine got very dicey on staying alive, but constantly flipping that defense up and the defense down makes things a lot easier. There we go, in on the kill chain with Wolverine. But yeah, I mean, there's something there with Heroes for Hire, but until you get that trauma and the healing block from Omega Red, you're really not going to be able to counter Heroes for Hire like this. I don't think Lady Deathstrike is going to make that much of a difference. She does reduce resistance on enemies who have bleed on them, but you're cleansing so often with Heroes for Hire, those bleeds aren't sticking, so it's not a consistent reduction in resistance. With that trauma and the heal block from Omega Red, then you can prevent them from healing, which then means that all the bleeds aren't getting cleansed. So yeah, it's one of those things where until we see Omega Red, I'm not expecting a 4-man team of Weapon X to be able to counter your Heroes for Hire. It's not going to be like Infinity Watch. They learned from their mistake with Infinity Watch, where they spread the power out way too much, and the 4 on their own without Adam are extremely powerful. I think they've learned from that on this. So yeah, I mean, take it how you will with Heroes for Hire, but I wouldn't expect much. I would not hype this up as a Heroes for Hire killer. If you're doing a huge punch down, 300, 400k, sure, you could do it, but I mean, who would you really? I kind of feel dirty even showing this footage, because now someone's going to think that it is a Heroes for Hire counter, and it's not. Totally not. But I mean, just showing you guys what it can do. But now let's get into some more fun stuff. How about New Warriors on defense with Silver Surfer and Red Guardian? It's a slight punch up on my end, but this is going to get nasty. This footage is about a minute and a half long. About 20 seconds of that is loading in. And we're just going to shred things. Now, to be fair, probably not a good idea to have Cloak right next to Red Guardian. Could have put Surfer right next to him, but you're just kind of going back and forth and just shredding. All those bleeds are going to go off here in a second on Cloak and just murder him. Now, you can see I've got Namor here. Namor did get ability blocked on this. It's fine. Like, what I would use was the ultimate from Namor here, because that would go off and remove buffs, reduce speed bar on the enemy team. Now we've got a cleanse on our team. We've got speed down the enemy team. I'm not even going to worry about those bleeds on Red Guardian at this point. There's no point in worrying about it. We're going to go straight for Deathpool on that ultimate, kill her. She's gone. And now we're going to try to... I should have gone for Silver Surfer here to try to give him offense down. But thankfully, we did okay there. We lost Sabretooth there. Should have gone for Silver Surfer. Now we're going to use the ultimate from Emma, blind. And that should just about do it for Surfer. He's gone. Now we just have Dagger left. Use the ultimate from Wolverine. Does a little bit of damage. But now we're going to finish off Dagger. And that will be it. So, yeah, New Warriors on defense. I don't see them often on defense. They're a much better offensive team. But I figured since they're a newer team, people want to see the newer teams and how they perform on defense against other teams. Here you go. Weapon X just kind of runs roughshod right over it. All right, so we're going to do X-Men on this one. Astonishing X-Men. This is a significant punch down. But I'm going to show you guys basically how you really don't need to worry about that. There's a specific turn order to how you want to handle this. And it didn't go as planned for me. But basically what you're going to use, basic on Sabretooth, you're going to get rid of that defense up, and you're going to put offense down on Bishop. He's going to go off here, but now he's going to gain taunt again. So now you're going to use that chain attack. Go back and forth. Use the ultimate there from Namor and reduce speed bar. Now, ideally what I wanted to do was do the special from Sabretooth here, have it go back and forth and reduce someone down to half health. So Beast would go next and he would pop his ultimate, which would put the buffs on everybody for Astonishing X-Men, and then use the ultimate from Namor. But even with it going out of turn here, it really wasn't that big of a deal. You're going to see the buffs here, but the big thing I want to do is use that ultimate from Silver Samurai right on Jolie. There you go. She's gone. And once Jolie is gone, or why am I saying Jolie? Jubilee. Jeez. Once Jubilee is gone, you really lose a lot of the power of Astonishing X-Men. You don't get their assists. You don't get the speed bar on defeats. I have no idea where Jolie even came from on that one. I apologize. But yeah, at this point, use that ultimate from Sabretooth, shred some enemies. Bishop's gone. Iceman had now revive once. Finish off Beast. And you're good to go at this point. Get that blind out. Kill Iceman once more. Now you have a blind again on Kitty. And there you go. So yeah, that one was pretty straightforward. About a minute in all. But pretty much, use Namor there. he's going to go before their characters. He goes before Jubilee. So being able to go before Jubilee means you can reduce speed bar on her, get her slowed down with Emma, and then use that ultimate from Silver Samurai, finish her off. Once Jubilee is gone, you're done. And if you do want to get a little more tactical, use that ultimate there on Bishop, because if he's below 80% health when he uses that ultimate with the charge, he won't taunt. So you don't even have to worry about him getting taunt again. That's why I could have used the ultimate here instead of the basic. Either way, you can't really go wrong. But yeah, I mean, it was just nice to get that offense down. But yeah, if you'd done that, you could have gone for some of these other characters. Like I've got a very weak Kitty over here. I could have used her. I could use Special Wolverine to knock her down low, and then had Beast go off with his ultimate. Then use Namor's ultimate to cleanse and reduce speed bar. Not a big deal, but yeah, then follow up with Silver Samurai ultimate, and yeah, just kill someone and you're good to go. So definitely could have cleaned this up a little bit, but I'm feeling pretty good about this fight. Well, how about Black Order? So once again, I'm still using Namor at this point. Namor was most of my fights here. I mean, I'm seeing like a lot of Fantastic Four on defense these days, so Namor's got to find a home somewhere. He's got some mutant villain synergy here with Emma. Why not? So we're going against Black Order team here, and your goal is to basically do your best to avoid the ultimate with Thanos. And most teams that I fight with Black Order are better positioned than this. Usually you have Corvus here in the central position, and then Proxima over here on the outside next to Ebony. If it was positioned that way, this fight would have actually been a lot easier for me, because I would have just chained back and forth between Cole and Thanos, and would have really kind of killed things. Be careful with the basic from Sabretooth. It's going to put offense up on someone because Thanos is going to flip it. But yeah, at this point, we're going to use the ultimate from Namor. It's not really going to remove anything, but it is going to remove speed bar. That's what I want to go for. Then Namor's killed. Not a big deal. Namor did his job. That's all I needed Namor for here. Use the special from Samurai, get those counters, those deflects, the defense up and barrier on characters. And now we're just going to chain back and forth. There you go. You can see we got rid of all the death proof on Cole. Now we're going to chain back and forth between Proxima and Thanos. And Cole is now gone, which means the ultimate from Emma goes off on Thanos, which means he's going to get blinded. He gets killed. Use the ultimate from Silver Samurai. Finish off Ebony Maw. Take out Corvus. Take out Proxima. Pretty straightforward. Once I got the strategy down, it took me a couple attempts to get this figured out, but once I got it figured out, it's pretty good. The only thing is you have to make sure your Namor doesn't die early on in the fight, so I had to kind of beef him up to tier 13 gear. But once he was able to survive at least long enough to get off that ultimate, things turned out great. So this is something to keep in mind. This can beat a Black Order. This is a punch across with Black Order, if I remember. Yeah, actually, this is a 40k punch up against Black Order. So here you guys go. Nice solid counter to Black Order right here with this team. Now this one was like a soup of just nasty characters: Black Bolt, Silver Surfer, Doc Ock, and then your two Inhumans with Yo-Yo and Crystal. I basically asked him to throw just like some garbage on defense here, just so I could see what was going on. Once again, still using Namor. Sinister, I do have another version of this fight. I don't believe I copied it over, but I used Sinister, and I used Sinister to clone Silver Surfer, and the result was pretty much the exact same. I'm not going to show both, but yeah, clone Silver Surfer with Mr. Sinister here, instead of using the ultimate from Namor to remove buffs and reduce speed bar. You're going to be fine. We're going for Silver Surfer because we need to get rid of him. He's the deadliest character on this team by far. You'd think Black Bolt, but Black Bolt is very, very manageable. You can get by Black Bolt. He's very slow. It's Silver Surfer with his constant healing, his boosted speed as the fight goes on, is his just offense up gets nasty. You got to get rid of him as quickly as possible. There you go. So now Silver Surfer's gone. We also got rid of Yo-Yo at the same time. Lucky there. But now we can use, I mean, look how little damage Black Bolt's special did there. Like 60k. Remember, Silver Samurai has crap loads of defense and crap loads of resistance from his passive. So once he's taunting, he's like a brick wall. It's going to take a lot to go through him. And this is only a 5 red star Silver Samurai as well. So as we get him up higher in stars, he's going to be doing pretty great. Going back and forth, doing that chain attack, getting some damage in. Now we're going to use the ultimate from Namor to remove speed bar, remove those buffs. There you go. Now we just have Doc Ock left. Here's the funny thing. Like, there's not much to break down in these fights. These fights are all like a minute long. They're done so quickly. Like, that's the most impressive part to me. Well, most of them are done in a minute. So, I mean, yeah, what else do you really need to say at this point? Like, get rid of Surfer. Knock down Doc. You've got plenty of defense. You've got ways of blinding Black Bolt if you need to for him. But once you get rid of Surfer, this team kind of really loses a lot of its oomph. And that's the big problem, is you cannot ignore Surfer. If you do ignore Surfer, then he's going to get that offense up. He's going to start hammering you and really punishing you. But yeah, I mean, I thought this one was pretty nice. It was a nice combination. This is an interesting team. We see a lot on defense these days. A lot of people are kind of afraid to approach it because Surfer, Black Bolt, and Doc, those three characters together, two legendaries and a character that might as well be a legendary. Yeah, it's a team that people aren't too happy to approach on defense these days. And then we're going to be doing Secret Avengers on this one. This one is a punch down. Unfortunately, it was the closest one we could find. It's Secret Avengers plus Coulson and Fury. You're probably wondering at this point, where are we at with Kestrel? Bad news is Kestrel is not a good opponent to fight against. Kestrel, she's very strong. She goes before anybody on your team. That ultimate's going to wipe out somebody. Can't be revived. It's not good. So I would recommend avoiding Kestrel at all costs with this team. It's just not it's not a good one. So keep that in mind. If you're going on if you're using this team on offense, you see Kestrel, probably best to just kind of work your way around it. Use someone else for Kestrel. There's some solid Kestrel counters out there, but this team, I'm not a fan of using them, especially if you're in like fighting security buffed rooms where you're gonna have Kestrel going off a lot. I'm just not a fan of it. So avoid Kestrel with this team at all costs for now. I mean, once we get Omega Red, I have a feeling that they'll handle Kestrel a whole lot better. But for now, yeah, I just avoid it. And we're not even talking about the Secret Avengers fight. Kill Sharon first, if possible. You don't want her stunning. You don't want her doing her ability block. Also, Sam Wilson's a bit of a threat too. But you can use the ultimate from Samurai to kill him off. It's not going to be a problem. Speed bar removal from Namor once again working very, very well here. Finish off Sam with that ultimate from Samurai. Now you don't have the speed bar on the enemy team. Finish off Sharon Carter next. Use those chain attacks and those adjacent attacks from Sabretooth and Wolverine, and you're good to go. So, yeah, there's not much else to say at this point about this one either. I mean, it is what it is. Use the ultimate from Emma to dispel buffs off of Nick Fury before he can use his special to spread them out to everybody, and you're good to go. So, yeah, we've got one more fight to show you guys, and that is going to be Brotherhood Doom, and this one's fun. Just be warned, it's going to be a lot like Skilletary, where it's a tight window to beat it, but very much possible, and this is where Strife really shines with this team. So, yeah, let's dive right into it. Alright, so this is a punch across with Brotherhood Doom. If it's a punch down, it works a lot easier, obviously. But the goal is, I've got Strife on this fight. The goal is to have the ultimate from Strife go off and ability block Doom. Now, this can be tricky depending on the positioning of Doom, Juggernaut, and Blob. If they're all next to each other, this team will probably not work because I'm having to use a lot of chain attacks, which means Doom's getting hit a lot, and if he gets hit down below half health, gonna pop off his ultimate, and once that ultimate goes off, it's not easy for you to win. So, at this point, we're just kind of, throw a little bit better resolution for you guys, but yeah. We're going to use the basic here. We're going to get Taunt on Strife. It sucks. I don't want Taunt on Strife, but there's not really much you can do that. I could do his special, get the barrier and stuff on him too, but we're trying to avoid Strife taking damage as much as possible. Unfortunately, he's got Taunt there. Now we will use the Taunt from Silver Samurai. We need to get through Blob ASAP, but we do want to keep him alive just long enough for Juggernaut to taunt, and then for us to hammer down Juggernaut. So we did get rid of the taunt on Blob, and this is where that ghost buff is in play. It shows the taunt is on Blob. It is not. This is that ghost buff glitch thing still around, but we're hammering Juggernaut right now. He's now got his buffs on. We've got more chain attacks there. Thankfully, we were able to get rid of Toad there, so now we can just chain back and forth between Magneto and Juggernaut. And this will finish off Juggernaut here. So now, at this point, we can ability block with Strife. There you go. You got the ability block on Doom. And then now you finish up with the ultimate from Silver Samurai. It's pretty straightforward, but there's such a tight window. Like, for example, look at how much speed bar Doom has right there as I'm getting the ultimate off with Strife. If Strife was slowed down at all, this would not work. Like with your Skeleton versus Brotherhood Doom, very, very tight window to get this to work. I tried it with Sinister. I tried it with Namor. Namor's ultimate is unavoidable, which I found after a couple of attempts, and then I kicked myself for not realizing sooner. So Namor does work all right here, but that's only against weak blobs and juggernauts, where you can kill them quickly and then start just hammering down Doom. Because if you can get that ultimate from Samurai off on Doom before he can use his ultimate and just wipe him out, you're good to go at that point. But you have to make sure that you got a weak Juggernaut and a weak Blob. If you don't, the Namor really doesn't work as well as Strife does for this one. But yeah, this is kind of last footage that we've got here to show you guys. Let me know down below what you guys think about all this. Does this make you want to try this team on offense? Let me know down below. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, again, make sure to hit that like button, share and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think about this stuff. I will see you guys next time.